Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Mu Yi. Night of Extinction, I rise a corpse in Uzhibo, travel through the Hokage and arrive at the village of Konoha Ninjas. By acquiring the Hokage character, you can gain the power of the opponent's abilities and make the character useful for yourself. Starting from the beginning, the Yuzhibo clan gains an eternal kaleidoscope. Get the Wood Dunk and Immortal modes in the first generation of Corpse Rising Fire Shadow Thousand-Handed Pillar. Chi Shi Yuzhibo, obtain the Eye of Reincarnation. 6 Immortals with Corpse Rising. Daitsuki Kagaya wants to resurrect. Great, then I'll give her a hand. Raise the corpse of the Big Barrel Wood, let Huiyi become his servant. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Character Development. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Realm of Tolerance, the Land of Fire. Kiba Ninja Village. Under the cool big tree, Yi-Chen lazily leaned against the edge of the tree, gazing at the blue and white sky, his eyes flickering with thoughts. After a long time, he let out a sigh. Hey, I didn't expect to come to the ninja world. The young man's name is Yi-Chen, and he is a traveler. It has been several years since I came into this world. And this world is a ninja world that values human life like grass, where human life is not as good as dogs, and where shadow levels are everywhere. The world of ninjas is very dangerous. The lives of ordinary people are almost entirely in the hands of ninjas. As long as there is a mutation in the world of ninjas, the first to suffer is the powerless ordinary people. Coincidentally, Yi-Chen also belongs to this ordinary people. Having been in the world of ninjas for several years, Yi-Chen has not been reborn like other travelers, either to the Uchiha clan or to prestigious families such as Hinata. On the contrary, he is still an ordinary person, an orphan taken in by Kiba. Fortunately, Yi-Chen still has the qualifications to become a ninja. Although at a young age, it was already possible to extract chakras in small amounts. But Yi-Chen knew that this alone was not enough to survive in this ninja world. In the later stage, what else is there in Daguanmu Huiyi? The Daguanmu clan can easily harvest the lives of tens of thousands of people. If there is no strength, then one can only become a lamb in the hands of the strong and be slaughtered by others. Therefore, Yi-Chen also let out a sigh. Quickly, after lying down for a moment, Yi-Chen stood up, patted the dust off his body, and prepared to go to practice. He, who has no bloodline and no family influence, must make more efforts to control his own life. However, just as Yi-Chen was about to leave, suddenly, a mechanical sound came to my mind. Ding! Detected that the host conditions have met the requirements, and the divine level cultivation system is awakening. Ding! The system is currently binding. Binding successful. Yi-Chen was taken aback. Has the golden finger been credited to the account? Immediately, Yi-Chen closed his eyes and carefully felt the effect of this divine cultivation system. The so-called God-level cultivation system, as the name suggests, is a cultivation-type system. However, this cultivation is not about cultivating oneself, but rather, cultivating others. Especially for those who have already died. The divine-level cultivation system allows Yi-Chen to bind any deceased person, thereby resurrecting them and transforming them into zombie-like beings for his own use, completely obeying Yi-Chen's orders. At the same time, those who have been bound and resurrected by Yi-Chen will also provide feedback to Yi-Chen himself, allowing him to acquire the opponent's abilities and the blood inheritance limit. And Yi-Chen can also cultivate the opponent, cultivate their strength through various means, enhance their attributes, and so on. In short, it's just like character development. Moreover, more importantly, the bound character will not only restore their strength during their lifetime, but also gain an indestructible ability. No matter what kind of injury you suffer, you will continue to fight for Yi-Chen. Moreover, Yi-Chen can also restore their sanity, manipulate their sanity, or erase their consciousness, turning them into combat weapons. It can be said that it is a very convenient and powerful ability. Thinking of this, Yi Chen showed a faint smile. Finally, the system has arrived. With this divine-level cultivation system, he no longer has to worry about future battles in the ninja realm and can also have the power to protect himself. However, Yi Chen quickly realized. The divine cultivation system, as the name suggests, still aims to resurrect the deceased for one's own use. That is to say, the stronger the deceased, the stronger Yi Chen's ability and combat effectiveness will be. If the other party has any blood inheritance or limit, then Yi Chen will also have a huge improvement. Coincidentally, Yi Chen immediately realized that at this point in time, something big was about to happen. That is, the night of the extinction of the Uchiha clan. The so-called Night of Extermination refers to the political conflict between the Uchiha clan and the high-ranking officials of Kiba. When the two were building the village, they began to target each other. After the Nine Tails Rebellion, the conflict between the two sides intensified to the point where it was impossible to resolve the conflict. So, the senior three generations of Hokage in Kiba, together with the talented Uchiha Itachi of the Uchiha clan, launched a brutal massacre against the entire Uchiha clan on the eve of the Uchiha Rebellion. Overnight, the entire Uchiha clan was slaughtered, leaving only Uchiha Itachi's younger brother, Uchiha Sasuke. This incident caused a sensation in the entire ninja world, causing all ninjas to tremble and speculate about the truth behind the destruction of the Uchiha clan, who were once on par with the Chiba clan. Of course, discerning people can see through at a glance. This has nothing to do with Yi Chen. He doesn't care about the future direction of the Uchiha clan. What he cares about is the Night of Extermination, the countless Uchiha clans who were slaughtered. The countless Uchiha people are undoubtedly their best nourishment and also the most outstanding army of thugs. If we could transform the entire Uchiha clan into our own army of zombies. The benefits for oneself are self-evident. It greatly enhances one's own strength. Moreover, the Uchiha clan also has the famous blood inheritance limited eye technique in the ninja realm. The Sharingan. Clan leader Yuzhibo Fuyue also opened the kaleidoscope writing will eye. If they were dismembered and given their abilities, Yi Chen would undoubtedly have the trump card to become a powerhouse. Thinking of this, Yi Chen's gaze flashed with a hint of warmth. Chapter 2. Chi Sure Yuzhibo Stop Water. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. However, before starting the zombie Uzhibo clan, Yi Chen still needs to be fully prepared. After all, the extermination case of the Uchiha clan has the shadow of the high-ranking officials in Kiba. At that time, if there were high-level surveillance by Kiba, Yi Chen, who had little strength, would have to reopen his life after being discovered. After all, with the temperament of Mu Yi, it is unlikely that such a dark matter will save Yi Chen's life if discovered. Therefore, Yi Chen still needs to improve his strength. And Yi Chen quickly came up with a way to enhance his strength. That's it, Chi Sure Yuzhibo Stop Water. Yuzhibo Jishue is a descendant of the second-generation Hokage clan and Yuzhibo mirror. He is also a genius ninja from the Uchiha clan, who awakened to the kaleidoscope Sharingan at a young age and possesses extremely terrifying speed, earning the title of Instant Body in Water Stopping. And you also have terrifying pupil surgery, don't be a god. In the original work, Yuzhibo Jishue discussed with the third Hokage because he was aware of the bloodless revolution plan of the Yuzhibo clan. I want to use his kaleidoscope technique to change the will of Uchiha Fuyue and prevent this coup of the Uchiha clan. However, when Yuzhibo Jishue made up his mind to return to the Yuzhibo clan, he was stopped by the senior management of Kiba, Tuanzang. Tuanzang and his subordinates attacked Jishue and even took away one of his eyes. In despair, Yuzhibo Jishue finally met his close friend Yuzhibo Itachi. After handing his last hope to Yuzhibo Itachi in his last eye, he jumped into the Nanha River with despair and unwillingness to die. If Yi Chen could find the corpse of the water stop at the foot of the cliff and lift it up, he would not only gain the powerful subordinate of the water stop, but also the powerful pupil power of the water stop. In this way, it will undoubtedly be much easier to infiltrate the Uchiha clan and raise corpses. Thinking of this, Yi Chen immediately began to prepare the plan. A few days will pass soon. According to Yi Chen's memory, the extermination of the Uchiha clan is expected to happen soon. Recently, the village of Kiba Ninja has also become quiet, and there seem to be not many people around the Uchiha residence. Only the ninjas of the Uchiha clan are still walking. It seems that the night of extermination is just around the corner. The relationship between the Uchiha clan and Kiba has also become tense. So that is to say, Yuzhibo's water stop is almost poisoning his hands. According to his memory, Yi Chen also arrived early near the Nanha River. As far as he knew, Yuzhibo Jishue was seriously injured after being attacked by Tuanzang. He followed Yuzhibo Itachi to the Nanha River and ultimately jumped into the river to commit suicide. In the Fourth Ninja War, Uchiha no Kami was not reincarnated by the filth. Explanation: the body that stopped the water either jumped into the river and couldn't be found. Either it's hidden by the group. So, Yi Chen must wait for the rabbit early to avoid missing the opportunity and being taken early. And on this day, just as Yi Chen was waiting for rabbits downstream of the Nanha River, suddenly, a splashing sound came from afar. At the same time, a vague and melancholic sentence rang out. "Itachi, I'll leave it to you next. Stop water." Upon hearing these words, Yi Chen was taken aback and suddenly felt a surprise in his heart. The time has come. Thinking of this, Yi Chen immediately jumped into the water. However, the turbulent river water flowed too fast, and Yi Chen was unable to accurately determine the location of Yuzhibo's water stop for a while. Fortunately, soon the sound of the system came. Detected a suitable ninja target character nearby. Are you sure the target is there? Upon hearing the system's words, Yi Chen was overjoyed and quickly confirmed yes. Quickly, after confirming, Yi Chen saw a body flowing down from upstream not far away, with a bright white light that was very obvious. Moreover, the body was wearing a ninja forehead protector, carrying a short knife behind it, and wearing a combat suit. Obviously, it is Yi Chen's goal this time. Yuzhibo stop water. After finding Yuzhibo Jishue, Yi Chen immediately swam over and took Yuzhibo Jishue's body downstream to the shore. At the same time, with systematic protection, people around, including Uchiha Itachi, are unable to detect themselves. After arriving at the shore, Yi Chen went all the way to a deserted place, and his gaze turned hot to the wet Yuzhibo Jishue. At this moment, Uchiha stood still, with his eyes tightly closed and a desperate and desolate smile on his face, as if unwilling to die like this. I am also unwilling to be stopped before my plan is completed. Seeing the expression on Yuzhibo's face, Yi Chen smiled faintly and said, "Don't worry, stop water. In no time, you will be able to see this world again." As the words fell, at the same time, a systematic voice came to mind. Detected the target character of Konoha Ninja Uchiha's water-stopping character. Are you sure to bind the target character? Yi Chen rubbed his hands and without hesitation chose to bind. Ding! Successfully bound character, Yuzhibo stops water. Yuzhibo stops water and resurrects, while signing a contract to become the host's first character development character. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully binding the target character. Yuzhibo water stop is for your use. Obtain. Phantom instant body technique. Obtained. Fire escape, the art of Heo Wokyu. Fire escape, the art of Phoenix Flower Fire. Fire escape, the art of Dragon Fire. Fire escape. Obtain. A series of rewards and information simultaneously infused Yi Chen's mind and body. Make Yi Chen's breath instantly stronger. At the same time, the cultivation methods and experiences of the phantom instantaneous body technique of the Uchiha water-stopping sign also appeared in Yi-Chen's mind, along with the numerous fire escape ninjutsu techniques of the Uchiha clan. Such a generous reward made Yi-Chen's face involuntarily smile. Just as Yi-Chen was joyfully feeling the reward he had received, Yuzhibo Jishue, who was lying on the ground covered in water, slowly opened his eyes. "Me, where is this? By the way, I'm already dead. Is this hell here?" I heard the murmuring sound of Yuzhibo stopping water. Yi-Chen also looked at Yuzhibo Jishue and saw Jishue's bewildered words on his face. With a faint smile, Yi-Chen said, "Welcome back, Yuzhibo Jishue. This is not hell. Here, it's Kiba. And you have been successfully resurrected by me. You have been reborn, and I am now your master." Chapter 3. The First Character. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master. Upon hearing Yi-Chen's words, Uzhibo looked bewildered and even more puzzled, as if he had not reacted. However, upon hearing Yi-Chen say, he came back to life. Suddenly, Uzhibo's body was stunned and began to sense the surroundings. Although he lost his eyes, he couldn't see the surroundings. However, the fresh air breathed around and the gentle breeze felt by the body. Everything was revealed, and Yi-Chen seemed to be right. He didn't die, but resurrected. He can clearly feel the characteristics of his body. At the same time, I also felt that I seemed to have established a connection with Yi-Chen. A connection that must be obeyed and obeyed by Yi-Chen. Anyway, feeling the breath of resurrection, Jishue couldn't help but smile bitterly. Surprisingly, have I come back to life? Yi-Chen smiled, nodded, and told Uzhibo about the current situation. Of course, Yi-Chen did not mention his own system. Just tell Jishue that this is his method. At the same time, it also tells Jishue that he will not die or perish as he is now. As long as Yi-Chen doesn't want him to die, he won't die. Moreover, he must unconditionally obey Yi-Chen, unable to resist Yi-Chen's commands and ideas, and unable to engage in actions that harm Yi-Chen. It can be said that now, he is Yi-Chen's servant. Yi-Chen, it's his new master. As Yi-Chen said, Uzhibo Jishue also realized that he could not resist Yi-Chen's command. Moreover, Yi-Chen wanted to preserve his consciousness in order to preserve it. If Yi-Chen didn't want to hear him speak, he wouldn't be able to speak at all. After knowing this, Uzhibo Jishue completely understood. After explaining, Yi-Chen also began to calculate in his heart. Unexpectedly, he could still retain the consciousness of Uchiha stopping water. I don't know what kind of exciting expression Uzhibo Itachi will have when he sees the resurrected Jishue in the future. And what would Jishue feel after knowing what Uchiha Itachi had done? Just thinking about it, it feels very exciting. Thinking of this, Yi-Chen also suddenly thought of it. By the way, why didn't he get the Wanhwagwan Sharingan of Uchiha water stop? Is it the reason why the water stopping eyes are not on the body now? Thinking about it, Yi-Chen looked at Jishue's empty eyes. It seems that I still need to bring back the eyes of Uzhibo Jishue. Otherwise, without other gods, it would be a great loss of assistance. After thinking about it, Yi-Chen looked at Uzhibo Jishue and smiled. Stop water, it seems that you will soon meet your good friend Itachi. Upon hearing Yi-Chen's words, Jishue shuddered as if he had thought of something bad. However, at the same time, he is also looking forward to meeting Itachi. I want to see how Itachi will handle the relationship between Uchiha and Kiba next. After binding the water stop, Yi-Chen also left here with the water stop. Not long after Yi-Chen left here, a group of ninjas wearing black combat uniforms and wearing civet masks quickly arrived. The civet ninjas looked around as if searching for something, but when they couldn't find their target, they quickly left and continued their search downstream. And on the other side, in the dark corner of the wooden leaves, a middle-aged man holding a cane, with a solemn and gloomy face, stood here. In front of him, there were several dark ninjas wearing civet masks. These ninjas are all people belonging to the Roots. And this middle-aged man is also the leader of the Root, Tuanzang. At this moment, Tuanzang is listening to the report from his subordinates. After listening for a moment, Tuanzang furrowed his brow and said in a rough and heavy voice with a hint of anger. "What, haven't we found the body of Yuzhibo Jishue yet?" Hearing the tone of the leader Tuanzang with a hint of dissatisfaction, the Root leaders were also a bit nervous and quickly said. "Yes, I searched through the forest and the vicinity of Nanha River, but couldn't find Uzhibo water stop. However, according to the intelligence obtained, it seems that Uzhibo Jishue finally saw someone. Moreover, it seems that Yuzhibo Itachi has returned to the village." Listening to the report from his subordinates, Tuanzang's eyebrows furrowed even more tightly, and he snorted coldly before saying coldly. "Keep searching, no matter who he sees, he must find Uzhibo Jishue for me. He's injured and can't walk far, he must still be in my." "Yes." After speaking, the Root ninjas immediately disappeared and continued to search for the traces of the water stop. After the Root ninja left, Tanzo looked towards the direction of the Uchiha clan's territory, his gaze gradually darkened, and he murmured. "The Uchiha clan." After leaving the lower reaches of the Nanha River, Yichen quickly returned home. As for Uchiha stop water, it was Yichen who retrieved the alien space gifted by the system. In order to accommodate the characters bound for collection and distribution, Yichen also has a different space where he can freely store any object. Putting Uzhibo water stop inside is undoubtedly a very practical ability that no one will notice. When you need to use Uzhibo water stop, just release it. Moreover, this space can not only store bound tasks, but also other items, which is undoubtedly very useful. After returning home, Yichen also began to think. Nowadays, the fact of death has been formed in the eyes of the senior management of Tuanzang and Mai, as well as in the eyes of Uzhibo. After all, Uzhibo left a suicide note after stopping water, and soon Uzhibo will also know about this matter. That is to say, the conflict between the Uchiha clan and Kiba will be even closer. It's not far from Uchiha launching a revolution, which is the Night of Extermination. It should be, it's just these past few days. The death of stillness is the beginning of the Night of Extermination. So, it's time to start preparing myself. Next, that's the highlight. He wants to dismember all the Uchiha clan on the Night of Extermination. Store them all as your own strength. Chapter 4. On the night of extinguishing the clan, rise the corpse, Uchiha, and the whole clan. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Thinking of this, Yichen couldn't help but smile slightly. With Uchiha's entire family of combat ninjas as his support, his power will undoubtedly greatly increase and become even stronger. And there are still a few days left until the Night of Extermination. In the past few days, Yichen has been preparing to test his newly acquired skills. After mastering them all, quickly enhance your own strength. This is also to provide better protection for my actions on the Night of Extermination. A few days passed quickly. In the past few days, the wind and clouds of the wooden leaves have been surging. The high-level meetings are constantly coming, and the Uchiha clan is also eager to make changes at any time. Big things are on the verge of happening. Calculating the time, the Night of Extermination is also coming. These days, Yichen has been observing the movements of the Uchiha clan. And on this day, Yichen just realized. The originally bustling village of Mai suddenly fell silent, and the surroundings of the Uchiha clan were even more silent. Previously, there were pedestrians passing by, but now, almost no one is active near the Uchiha clan. As if deliberately isolated by the wooden leaves, evacuating the crowd. Seeing this situation, Yichen also knew that everything was about to start. The Night of Extermination, today. Therefore, in the afternoon, while Sasuke had just finished school, Yichen immediately set off and prepared to infiltrate the Uchiha clan. The dusk sunlight gradually sets, and the sun also sets. Black night followed. Soon, Yi Chen's figure arrived at the land of the Uchiha tribe. At this moment, there are corpses everywhere in the land of the Uchiha tribe. Whether ordinary people, street vendors, or elderly women, as long as they have connections with the Uchiha clan and carry the bloodline of the Uchiha clan, they are all killed. Blood flowed all over the ground, staining the sky red. On the street, it was like an apocalyptic scene. Looking at countless corpses, Yi Chen not only did not fear, but also took a deep breath and a smile appeared. After setting their targets one by one, they then plundered towards the depths of the Uchiha tribe. Now Yi Chen, after binding to the Yuji wave water stop, has gained the ability and strength to stop water, and his strength has greatly improved. He has already gained the strength of a shadow-level powerhouse. And he can also better conceal his body shape and breath from being discovered. Although Yi Chen felt that there were many hidden forces of Kiba monitoring the vicinity of the Uchiha clan. But they didn't get too close, perhaps waiting for Uchiha Itachi to take action. They were afraid that if they got too close, they might be discovered by the Uchiha clan and exposed. Therefore, they also did not notice Yi Chen's figure. However, they had no idea that the current Uchiha was already covered in corpses and blood. Soon, Yi Chen arrived at his destination, the residence of the Uchiha clan leader. After arriving at the residence of the Uchiha clan leader, Yi Chen quickly felt a living aura inside. Obviously, that is Uchiha Itachi. After staying in the house for a while, Uchiha Itachi seemed to have a premonition that his younger brother Sasuke was about to return home from school, and his figure flashed before disappearing. Noticing that Uchiha Itachi was gradually leaving, and due to his concealment, Uchiha Itachi did not notice himself. Yi Chen exhaled and immediately walked into the residence of the Uchiha clan leader. At this moment, the residence of the Uchiha clan leader is also very quiet, as if there is no more vitality inside. Yi Chen didn't stop at all, but walked directly into the central guest room. As soon as he walked into the guest room, Yi Chen saw two bodies inside. One of them is the leader of the Uchiha clan, who is also the father of Uchiha Itachi and Sasuke, Uchiha Fuyue. And the other is his wife, Uchiha Meichin. At this moment, there were no signs of life on the two of them, and there was a deep bloodstain on their bodies. Obviously, they had been killed by Itachi. However, Yi Chen did not care about these. After seeing Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Meichin, Yi Chen took a deep breath and his gaze gradually became hot. Next, he will start to dismember. At the same time, the sound of the system echoed in Yi Chen's mind. Multiple suitable target characters have been detected around. Would you like to bind them? Yi Chen took a deep breath, his eyes burning with passion, and that was the moment he was waiting for. Without hesitation, choose yes and say. Bind. Bind all. Resurrect, my Uchiha army. The moment when words fall. An invisible force flew out of Yi Chen's body and landed on Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Meichin. Not only that, this force also flew out of the Uchiha mansion and covered the battle ninjas of the Uchiha clan who were all collapsed in the sea of blood around them. Keep going. In an instant. The sound of the one-tone system resounds again. Ding. Successfully bound the target character, Yuzhibo Fuyue. Ding. Successfully bound the target character, Yuzhibo Meichin. Ding. Successfully bound the target character, Uzhibo. Ding. A series of sounds echoed one after another. Yi Chen quickly felt that each powerful breath was gradually establishing contact with him and falling into his control. At the same time, Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Meichin, who were lying in a pool of blood in front of them, also moved their fingers slightly. Then, Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Meichin opened their eyes. The pair of bright red three-hook jade writing wheel eyes slowly appeared in the eyes of Yuzhibo Fuyue. However, at the moment of appearance, there was still a hint of confusion in Yuzhibo Fuyue's gaze. Where is this? Is this the underworld? No, isn't this our home? How could we be here? Aren't we already dead? Looking at the familiar architecture and residential scenery around, Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Meichin slightly reacted and said with some confusion. Upon hearing the puzzled words of Yuzhibo Fuyue and Meichin, Yichen smiled faintly and said, "Welcome back, Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Meichin. This is not the underworld. This is Kiba Ninja Village, and it is also the residence of your Uchiha clan. Now that you have been resurrected, you have also gained new life. And I am the one who resurrected you, and I am also your future master." Chapter 5. Meeting the Weasel and stopping water, obtaining another day. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Upon hearing Yi Chen's words, Yuzhibo Fuyue was slightly stunned, his pupils slightly widened, and his body slowly turned around. Quickly, he was behind him and saw the figure of Yi Chen. At the moment he saw Yi Chen, Yuzhibo Fuyue immediately widened his eyes filled with shock and astonishment, and his face was also filled with an incredible expression. Then, Yuzhibo Fuyue opened his mouth wide and said in astonishment, You are. However, before Uchiha Fuyue could finish speaking, suddenly, a painful scream suddenly came from a distance from the Uchiha clan. Ah! The screams echoed through the land of the Uchiha clan, echoing in the dark sky. The owner of the voice was slightly immature, and the sound line was also very familiar to Uchiha Fuyue and Uchiha Meichin. Hear this scream. Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Meichin were taken aback for a moment, and they immediately looked into the distance and exclaimed in shock. This voice is Sasuke's voice. That's right, the owner of this voice is their son, Uchiha Sasuke. Upon hearing Sasuke's screams, Yichen smiled faintly and couldn't help but look away. It seemed that the show was about to begin. Shortly after Sasuke's screams rang out, a flickering voice echoed outside the residence of Uchiha clan leader. It seems that Uchiha Itachi returned after meeting his younger brother, wanting to take a final look at his parents, namely Uchiha Fuyue and Meichin. Sensing the aura of Yuzhibo Itachi, Yichen smiled. It was time for him to retrieve his own belongings from Itachi. Immediately, Yichen released the Yuji wave water stop from space and said, Your friend is here, Jishue. It's your turn to meet him. Upon hearing Yichen's words, Jishue let out a bitter smile and gradually walked towards the outside of the guest room. And Uchiha Fuyue and Meichin in the guest room saw the figure of Jishue appear, their eyes instantly widened, their pupils contracted, and they once again fell into a state of shock. They seemed to be unable to believe their own eyes, both of them never expected that Jishue would appear here. Suddenly, Yuzhibo Fuyue exclaimed in shock. Stop! Stop water! Is it really you? How could you be here? Aren't you already dead? Our security team members have all seen your suicide note. Yuzhibo Jishue shook his head and gave a bitter smile, saying, It's a long story. After speaking, Yuzhibo stopped water and walked out. Watching Yuzhibo Jishue leave, Yuzhibo Fuyue couldn't react from the shock for a long time. He now fully understood the situation, and his gaze towards Yichen was filled with a look of shock and surprise. He never expected that such a character would appear in Kiba. Shortly after Yuzhibo Jishue walked out, footsteps could be heard outside. And the owner of this footsteps is Uchiha Itachi. After Yuzhibo Itachi walked into the courtyard, he seemed to vaguely see a figure and noticed someone around. Itachi immediately frowned and said coldly, Who is it? Upon hearing Yuzhibo Itachi's words, Jishue shook his head and gave a bitter smile, saying, Itachi, I didn't expect us to meet so soon. Upon hearing the familiar voice, Yuzhibo Itachi hesitated for a moment and gradually walked in to see the true face of the person in front of him. Suddenly, Itachi's pair of three hooked jade riding wheel eyes gradually widened, and her pupils also dilated. An incredulous and shocked expression appeared on her face. Because Itachi saw that the person in front of him was actually his deceased friend, Yuzhibo Jishue. How could this be possible? Yuzhibo Jishue jumped off the Nanha River in front of him with his own eyes. He is even more certain that the vitality of stopping water has passed away. However, at this moment, Jishue appeared in front of him. Moreover, Chakra's breath and appearance are no different from usual. As if coming back to life. Yuzhibo Itachi's body immediately wrapped around it, and he looked at Jishue in disbelief and horror. He opened his mouth and murmured silently. Stop. Stop water, what's wrong with you? You didn't jump off the Nanha River. What's going on? Yuzhibo gave a bitter smile but did not answer. He, who was bound by Yi Qin, could not make any harmful words about Yi Qin as long as Yi Qin did not allow him. After shaking his head, Jishue looked at Itachi with a somewhat complicated expression and said. Many things, beyond your imagination, Itachi. And I didn't expect you to do such a thing either. Obviously, under Yi Qin's control, Jishue also knew what had happened to the Uzhibo clan. It is even more known that Itachi created this massacre of the clan. Itachi lowered his head slightly in response to the words of the water stop, unable to give an answer. Before Uchiha Itachi could speak, Jishue said again. My eyes, be with you. Itachi was taken aback. Quickly, a crow emerged from the weasel and landed on its shoulder. The crow was black all over, very eerie, and even more eerie was that one of his eyes was in the shape of a four-edged sword in his hand. And this is the kaleidoscope writing will eye of Uzhibo water stop. It seemed that the crow had sensed the appearance of the eye itself, which was the water stop, and let out a cry. Sensing the appearance of his own eyes, he didn't know whether it was Jishue himself or being manipulated by Yi Qin. Jishue nodded and said. Very good. Say it. The words fell. I only saw it in an instant. The figure of Jishue flickered and disappeared into place. The next moment, his figure appeared in front of Uchiha Itachi. The terrifying speed stunned Yuzhibo Itachi, but due to the excessive shock just now, Itachi did not react. Then, Jishue suddenly reached out his hand, took down the crow with one hand, and his figure flickered again, appearing at the spot just now. The crow fell into the hands of the water stop, and the black feathers gradually dissipated. Then, a crimson kaleidoscope will eyeball fell down. After catching the Sharingan of the kaleidoscope in the palm of the water-stopping hand, he immediately pressed the Sharingan of the kaleidoscope onto his own eye socket. Kaleidoscope writing will eye fusion. So far. A kaleidoscope writing will eye that stops water, returned to its original owner. Go back to himself. Chapter 6. The shock of Uchiha Itachi, resurrected from death. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Seeing the continuous actions of stopping the water and taking back his own eyes, Yuzhibo Itachi was also slightly stunned. He quickly realized and quickly said. Stop water, are you? What the hell is going on? What exactly happened to you? Yuzhibo Itachi's mind is now filled with too much shock and doubt. He couldn't figure out how Jishue, who had died before in front of him, had come back to life now. And I handed it to my own eyes, and I also took the water stop back. Shortly after Uchiha Itachi asked a question, Uchiha Shizuki had not yet answered when suddenly, another call came from the guest room deep in the mansion. Itachi. The sudden sound stunned Uchiha Itachi. Sensing the familiarity of the voice, and having heard it just now, a more incredible conjecture suddenly appeared in Uchiha Itachi's heart. Can you say it? Uchiha Itachi instantly turned around, opened his eyes wide, and looked up. I only saw that in the central guest room, the wooden door slowly opened, and inside, two figures walked out. One of the figures had a very serious and solemn expression, portrayed on his face with the vicissitudes and steadiness of a middle-aged man. On the other hand, there is a beautiful woman, a married woman. These two figures are very familiar to Uchiha Itachi. And, I just saw it. Because these two people are the parents that Yuzhibo Itachi just killed with his own hands. Seeing his parents who he had just personally killed, he surprisingly walked out of the room and appeared in front of him. Yuzhibo Itachi's pupils instantly dilated, and his pupils and gaze were filled with incredible terror and shock. He can't believe it. I can't believe my own eyes. He personally killed his parents just now, namely Uchiha Fuyue and Uchiha Meichin. At this moment, it has also been resurrected. What the hell is going on here? He clearly remembers that his parents' vitality has dissipated. How could it happen again? Moreover, in front of him at this moment, not only were his parents who he had personally killed resurrected and reborn, but also his friend Yuzhibo Jishue who jumped off a cliff in front of him was resurrected. The incredible scene before him instantly made Uchiha Itachi's mind extremely chaotic. Especially for those who have died and been reborn, they are still their friends and relatives. Yuzhibo Itachi suddenly stumbled back a few steps, his eyes filled with shock as he looked at his parents and friends. He guessed, is it forbidden art? But Itachi did not detect any abnormal chakras on Jishue, Uchibo Fuyue, or Uchibo Meichin. Everything seems like they are truly resurrected, appearing full of vitality. What's going on, father, mother? Yuzhibo Itachi looked at his parents and friends in front of him in shock and terror, retreating while murmuring. After hearing Uchiha Itachi's words, Fuyue shook his head but did not answer. Just as Yuzhibo Fuyue was about to say something, suddenly, just then, a cold call sounded from outside. Itachi, it's time. The people at the root are coming soon, it's time we left here. The sudden words startled Yuzhibo Itachi. Upon hearing the urging of the outside voices, Itachi's body trembled and he looked at his parents and friends in front of him with a complex expression on his face. He has no idea what the situation is now. However, he was certain that the Uchiha clan had all been killed by him. Jishue also jumped off a cliff and died. Although I don't know what exactly happened and I really want to figure out the cause, it's clear that there's not enough time now. The people at the root are coming. According to his agreement with the third Hokage and Tuanzang, after he kills the entire Uchiha clan, he will be designated as a traitor and will be relentlessly pursued by Mai. Now, with the help of others, he has confirmed that the entire Uchiha clan has been slaughtered, and when he arrived, he also saw the bodies of the Uchiha clan on the street. Therefore, although it is unknown why Shizuki and his parents resurrected, Itachi had to leave before the arrival of the root ninja. After all, if seen by the people at the root, there will inevitably be a big war. He originally slaughtered the Uchiha clan for the sake of the prestige of Kiba ninja village and Uchiha. If there is a big battle with the people at the root here, everything will go to waste. Therefore, Yuzhibashi decided to leave first and secretly investigated what was going on. Itachi took a deep look at his parents Uchibo Fuyue and Uchibo Meichin, as well as his friend Uchibo Jishue, and then turned around to leave. Seeing Itachi about to leave, Yuzhibo Fuyue and Jishue looked at Itachi's back and said with a complex expression. Itachi. Goodbye. Yuzhibo Itachi didn't speak. He knew that his parents and Jishue had also heard that person's words just now. His parents, who knew about his plan to exterminate the clan, probably would also hide it and not expose it. Thinking of this, Uchiha Itachi turned around and left. After Yuzhibo Itachi left, Yi Chen's figure gradually walked out of the central guest room. Watching the direction of Itachi's departure, Yi Chen smiled faintly. He did not appear in front of Uchiha Itachi, it is not the right time for him to appear now. And just now he was in the guest room, through his own strength and the concealment of the system, Itachi did not notice him. However, Yi Chen believes that they will meet again. Soon, Yi Chen also felt a ninja approaching in the distance. Obviously, it is the ninja from the route that the person mentioned earlier is rushing towards this side. It seems that he should act quickly too. Uchiha Itachi would not have thought that the entire Uchiha clan he believed to have been slaughtered would be resurrected. Yi Chen lifted the corpse. Thinking of this, Yi Chen smiled faintly. Immediately, Yi Chen walked out with Yuzhibo Fuyue, Mei Qin, and Yuzhibo Jishue. Along the way, Yi Chen constantly harvested his Uchiha subordinates. In the Uchiha clan, all ninjas with combat ability in the ability to open the Sharingan will be resurrected and resurrected by Yi Chen. Incorporate them into your own army of zombies. At the same time, the sound of the system kept ringing in his mind. Bind to Uchiha Fuyue and obtain the Kaleidoscope Sharingan. Obtain Uchiha Fire Escape Ninjutsu. Obtain. Bind Yuzhibo Meichin, bind all Yuzhibo battle ninjas. Obtain a kaleidoscope riding will eye that stops water, obtain a pupil technique from another celestial god. Obtain. Evolve the Kaleidoscope Sharingan and obtain the Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan. P.S. New books set sale, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking monthly tickets. Thank you all. Chapter 7. Did Sasuke see the ghost? Yuzhibo's entire clan is eliminated. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A series of voices echoed one after another, making Yi Chen couldn't help but feel happy. What surprised him even more was that, due to the binding of so many people from the Uchiha clan, under the fusion of pupil power, the Kaleidoscope Sharingan even evolved and upgraded. Become an eternal kaleidoscope riding will eye. Don't worry about the side effects of the kaleidoscope will eye now. And so many ninjas from the Uchiha clan have given feedback on his chakra and strength, which has greatly improved his strength. And just as Yi Chen was immersed in the joy of receiving so many rewards, suddenly, a young man on the roadside not far away caught his attention. That was a black-haired boy with short sleeves and shorts, who seemed to have just come out of a coma, vigorously rubbing his tired eyes. And this young man is the younger brother of Uchiha Itachi, Uchiha Sasuke. After opening his eyes, Uchiha Sasuke looked around in a hazy and confused manner. Seeing the brutal scene of blood splattering around him, Uchiha Sasuke was taken aback and seemed to remember something. Suddenly, a look of unbearable and painful appeared on his small face. Just as Sasuke was getting ready to stand up and see if there were anyone alive around him. Suddenly, Sasuke's gaze were fixed on the figure not far away. That is a group of neat Uchiha clan ninjas. On the face of each Uchiha ninja, there was an immense indifference, quietly watching Uchiha Sasuke. At this moment, Uchiha Sasuke's face was gradually showing signs of panic, terror, and awe. Because he remembered clearly, and just now he also saw clearly that the ninjas in front of him had all fallen into a pool of blood. They were all dead before. At this moment, how could it appear in front of him again? Moreover, each ninja was covered in deep bloodstains, indicating that they had suffered fatal injuries. Upon seeing this, Sasuke was even more certain that he had not misread before. What's even worse is that Sasuke still saw his parents in this group of people. That's Uchiha Fuyue and Meichin. Yuzhibo Fuyue and Meichin also have a blood knife mark left by Yuzhibo Itachi on their bodies. What's going on here? What situation? Sasuke's pupils dilated, his eyes filled with panic and terror, and his little soul was violently impacted. Did he meet a ghost? Or is this an illusion created by Uchiha Itachi for him? Sasuke couldn't help but want to shout out loud, but due to excessive fear, his voice couldn't even make a sound. And at this moment, several Uchiha ninjas with blood on their bodies began to move, as if they were walking towards Uchiha Sasuke, wanting to see what was going on. Seeing the ninjas of the Uchiha clan who had already died, they were gradually approaching themselves. Sasuke's uncontrollable emotions, excessive fear and shock made him scream again. Ah! Then, Sasuke's eyes fainted and he passed out again. Seeing this scene, Yi Chen's expression became slightly strange. Unexpectedly, he happened to pass by and met Sasuke. I didn't expect Sasuke to encounter the Uchiha zombie army he had harvested. Seeing his Uchiha army covered in blood at the moment, Yi-Chen shook his head and looked at Sasuke with a slightly apologetic expression. He shook his head and chuckled. "I'm really sorry, I haven't had time to tidy up the makeup of the Yuzhibo army yet, it scared you." Thinking about it, Yi-Chen also noticed that the ninja at the base was getting closer and closer. Therefore, he did not stay too long and immediately left here. After retrieving the army of Uchiha back into space, Yi-Chen also quickly returned home. After returning home, Yi-Chen began to digest these newly acquired abilities. Especially the Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan. This is his great help. With the help of the Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan, coupled with the power and abilities he received from the entire clan of Corpse Uchiha, Yi-Chen can now be said to have completely become one of the strongest. And just as Yi-Chen digested the newly acquired things and steadily improved his own strength. In these days, there have been earth-shattering changes in Mai. Firstly, on the night of extermination, the Uchiha clan was slaughtered. No, it should be said that the battle ninjas of the Uchiha clan have all disappeared. In the entire Uchiha clan territory, only members without combat abilities remain. This incident caused a sensation in both Kiba and the ninja realm. No one expected that such a massive combat family would disappear and disintegrate overnight. Muyi publicly claimed that the Uchiha clan was completely annihilated by Uchiha Itachi, which means that Uchiha was wiped out. After all, the third generation Hokage of Kiba knows what Uchiha Itachi did. And the Uchiha clan has so much blood and the corpses of their people. The tragedy of the Night of Extermination was planned by them. However, none of them expected that all the ninjas of the Uchiha clan had disappeared. No one knows where they went, let alone whether they are alive or dead. And the disappearance of the ninjas from the Uchiha clan led to dozens of meetings, big and small, being held by the senior management of Kiba in succession. This incident shocked them. It also shocked them, I can't believe it. Because they have no idea where the battle ninjas of the Uchiha clan have gone. Moreover, shortly after Yuzhibo Itachi took action, they sent someone to the Yuzhibo clan to check the situation. As a result, the entire clan of ninjas went missing. You know, with so many people, even if they want to escape, there are still some movements. It's impossible not to be detected by the secret forces they sent. As a result, the ninjas of the Uchiha clan disappeared under his nose. And the only one still alive is Sasuke. However, Sasuke is also very chaotic. Because he witnessed the scene of the entire Uchiha clan dying with his own eyes, but in the end, he also saw the Uchiha clan appear in front of him, covered in blood like a fake corpse. However, in the end, Sasuke admitted that the Uchiha clan, including his parents, were all killed by Itachi. After all, he was certain that he had seen the scene of all his clan members being killed, and he also heard his brother Uchiha Itachi personally admit to extermination. Moreover, there are so many corpses of the Uchiha clan, and even his home is covered in blood. And this has also made some high-level officials more stable. It seems that Sasuke mistook the blood-stained members of the Uchiha clan he saw at the end of the day for an illusion or a nightmare bestowed upon him by Uchiha Itachi. Or rather, Sasuke wants to find out the truth on his own. However, only Sasuke knows whether it's an illusion or a ghost. As for the disappearance of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke was also very shocked. His heart is full of inexplicable thoughts. Can you say that he really saw a ghost? In the end, the senior management did not continue to ask Sasuke. After all, the third generation Hokage had promised Itachi that he would ensure Sasuke's safety. Now that Sasuke has just received such a great stimulus, what he says may not necessarily be entirely rational. So, although the third generation Hokage also wanted to know the specific situation, it was temporarily saved. During this period, the third Hokage also sent people to convey the message of the Uchiha Itachi, hoping to know if the Uchiha clan had been eradicated and where the Uchiha people had gone. And Itachi's answer was to kill and not know. After all, Itachi is also unable to understand the situation now. He also wants to investigate what's going on. And the ninjas of the Uchiha clan disappeared, and among the higher-ups, the most angry one was Tanzo. He had originally made an agreement with Orochimaru. After all the Uchiha clan were killed, he wanted Orochimaru to help him study Uchiha's Sharingan and transplant it onto him. But to my surprise, all the ninjas in the Uchiha clan who possess Sharingan have gone missing. He didn't get a single pair of eyes. This will make him curse loudly. So, all the root ninjas, under his command, searched everywhere for the traces of the Uchiha clan. No matter how the team searches, they cannot find any signs of the Uchiha clan. In the dark corner, Tuanzang roared angrily at the ninjas with several roots under his command. Search for me. Dig 3 feet deep and also find the people of the Uchiha clan for me. Yes. Chapter 8. The Shock of Tuanzang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the other side. After Yi Chen has familiarized himself with his abilities in the past few days, he will come out to take a stroll and have something to eat. And these days, the streets of Mai are also bustling with discussions about Uchiha. Soon, Yi Chen heard the enthusiastic gossip of the pedestrians around him. Have you heard that the Uchiha clan is haunted? What's haunted? Don't scare people. Third-generation Hokage Lord said that Yuzhibo was killed by their genius Yuzhibo Itachi. Che, don't believe it, all the ninjas of the Uchiha clan have disappeared. And that night, I heard several screams, something terrifying must have happened. Maybe Uchiha Sasuke has seen ghosts. It's really fake. Upon hearing the constant voices of passers-by discussing, Yi Chen smiled faintly. He didn't expect that the news about the Uchiha clan would become increasingly mysterious. These days, he has also heard about the situation with Kiba and knows about the sensation caused by it. Ninja searches often appear on Kiba's streets. However, he is not worried whether the ninjas of Kiba will find him or the people of the Uchiha clan. Because on the night of the extermination, he never appeared from beginning to end, and no one saw him, knew of his existence, and could not know his identity. As for Yuzhibo Fuyue and the others, even if they show up, no one will know that the Yuzhibo clan will have a relationship with him. Moreover, they were already dead, but now they have been resurrected by Yi Chen's corpse and stored in space, who can discover them? Thinking of this, Yi Chen smiled faintly. However, seeing the root ninjas that often appear on the streets of Kiba, they are still searching everywhere, as if they cannot find the Uchiha clan ninjas who are not stopping. Yi Chen pondered slightly. It seems that the root and cluster are still a problem. We need to solve them first. Moreover, one eye that stopped the water was also taken away by Tuanzang. We still need to bring back the water-stopping eyes. The kaleidoscope writing eye can only exert its maximum effect and strength when the whole pair is together. Therefore, one cannot be lacking. Moreover, Tuanzang has not killed many ninjas from other villages, while his own village has killed a lot of ninjas. It seems that we need to find an opportunity to handle it. With this in mind, Yi Chen found a place to have a meal and began to plant in the village of Kiba ninjas. By the way, inquire about the terrain and search for the location of the root ninja and the hiding place of Tuanzang. After surviving in Mai for a period of time, Yi Chen also had a good understanding of the terrain of Mai. Quickly, the location of Tuanzang was found. The place where Tuanzang is located is very secluded, and a very large base area has been built underground in Mai. Moreover, the security at the entrance of the basement is very strict, with many root ninjas monitoring it. However, this is not difficult for Yi Chen. After releasing the water stop, Yi Chen directly used the ability to write the wheel eye with a kaleidoscope. Other gods controlled these root ninjas and made them commit suicide. After that, Yi Chen directly bound them. Turn these root ninjas into your own subordinates. Then, with the assistance of the root ninja, as well as memory and intelligence, Yi Chen quickly entered the basement of the root. The basement at the base is very dark and humid, with dark corridors and narrow rooms everywhere. After entering, following the memory of the controlled route ninja, they immediately locked onto the room where Tanzo was located and headed straight towards Tanzo's direction. At this moment, Tuanzang seemed to be closing his eyes and recuperating, sitting quietly on a chair in the room, seeming to be thinking about something. In the route now, almost all the ninjas have been sent by Tuanzang to search for the traces of the Uchiha clan. Therefore, there are not many ninjas in the entire base. Just as Tuanzang was meditating with his eyes closed, suddenly the secret door to the room was opened. Tuanzang opened his eyes and frowned slightly, thinking that the ninja at the base had returned. He said solemnly, "Have you found the people of the Uchiha clan?" As soon as Tuanzang finished speaking, the person who opened the secret door replied, "Found it. And it's right here." Then, the figure opening the door entered. Upon hearing this unusual response and seeing the figure pushing the door in, Tuanzang was slightly stunned, then opened his eyes wide and his pupils gradually filled with shock and shock. As if I couldn't believe I would see the person in front of me. Because what appeared in front of him when he walked in was none other than the Uzhibo Fuyue he had been searching for these days. Seeing the appearance of Uzhibo Fuyue, Tuanzang's heart stirred up towering waves. He never expected that Yuzhibo Fuyue would not die. And it just appeared before his eyes like this. What's going on here? Suddenly, Tuanzang was surprised and blurted out. How could it be you, Yuzhibo Fuyue? Did Uchiha Itachi betray Kiba? That's right, Tuanzang knows about the plan of Yuzhibo Itachi to massacre the entire Yuzhibo clan. Now seeing the undamaged appearance of Yuzhibo Fuyue, I couldn't help but feel scared and wonder, did Itachi betray their agreement and plan? Upon hearing Tuanzang's surprised and puzzled words, Yuzhibo Fuyue shook his head and did not answer. Instead, he spoke faintly. I heard that you have been looking for us, the Uchiha clan, so I'm here to make a deal with you today. Upon hearing Yuzhibo Fuyue's words, Tuanzang frowned and immediately realized that it was not a good thing. Then, Tuanzang let out a cold snort and his face gradually darkened, saying, "Humph, the rebels of the Uzhibo clan didn't completely eliminate you before, but now they dare to appear in front of me. Well, I will completely solve you." After hearing Tuanzang's words, Fuyue shook his head and looked at Tuanzang indifferently, saying, "Solved me? Not necessarily. Besides, I'm not the only one who came to you today to settle the accounts." After speaking, another figure emerged from behind Fuyue. The figure looked a bit young, wearing combat uniforms and also bearing the unique fan emblem of Uchiha. More importantly, this figure has only one eye. And that's exactly the bright red, kaleidoscope writing will eye. The person who appears here is also Uzhibo Jishue. How could this be possible? Seeing the appearance of Uchiha's stop water, Tuanzang's contracted pupils gradually expanded again. On his face, there was also an expression of disbelief and disbelief. He never expected that Jishue would also appear in front of him. He just saw the water stop a few days ago. Isn't the water stop dead? Itachi must have reported to him before the night of extermination that Jishue had jumped off a cliff. Moreover, he also knew that Uzhibo Jishue had left a suicide note, and the Uzhibo clan was even more certain of Jishue's death, so they were eager to launch a rebellion. More importantly, the person who injured the water stopped with their own hands, but now, Jishue has appeared in front of him again. This simply makes Tuanzang feel unbelievable, and his heart is even more shocked. Uzhibo stops water. You're still alive. P.S. New books set sale, Seeking Flowers, Collecting, and monthly tickets. Thank you all. Chapter 9. First meeting, say hello. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tuanzang looked at Uzhibo's water stop in shock. After hearing Tuanzang's words, Jishue smiled helplessly, his bright red eyes calmly staring at Tuanzang and saying, "I never thought we would meet again. And it's still in this way." Upon hearing the words of Jishui, Tuanzang gradually reacted, and the shock on his face gradually turned into a gloomy one. He never expected that Yuzhibo Jishui was still alive. Moreover, not only did it stop the water, but even the Uchiha Fuyue in the plan for the Night of Extermination appeared intact in front of him. At this moment, he is extremely angry in his heart. Looking at Yuzhibo Jishui and Fuyue in front of him, Tuanzang gritted his teeth with a gloomy expression and clenched his fists in anger, saying, "I didn't expect that you didn't die." Yuzhibo stopped water. "And you, Yuzhibo Fuyue, you too dare to appear in front of me. Do you want to take action against me? Or do you want me to personally give you a ride?" Yuzhibo's rebels. Upon hearing the anger in Tuanzang's words, Jishui shook his head and smiled, then looked at Tuanzang indifferently and said, "I want to retrieve my own things." "Your own thing?" Tuanzang frowned with a cold voice. He naturally knows what Yuzhibo Jishui is saying. That is the kaleidoscope writing "Will I of Uchiha stop water?" It was him who attacked Yuzhibo Jishui and took away one of his eyes. However, he wouldn't return this eye to the water stop. After all, the power of hemostatic pupil surgery is very powerful and also very useful for him. Suddenly, Tuanzang frowned, snorted coldly, and pretended to be dignified and said without hesitation, "Here, there's nothing for you. As a ninja of Konoha, you should belong to Konoha all over your body. Moreover, these eyes are in my hands and useful for the leaves of wood, so let me take care of them in the future. Also, you have another kaleidoscope, it's best to give it to me as well." Upon hearing Tuanzang's words, Yuzhibo Jishui frowned. And Yi Chen, who was controlling the water stop and hearing Tuanzang's words, felt even more ridiculous. This old guy is really shameless. In the name of I want to occupy the eyes of the water stop openly and honestly. However, Yi Chen will not let him. The reason why Tuanzang was able to harm Yuzhibo's water stop and take away his eyes was entirely due to Tuanzang's unexpected use of Iyanaki, which surprised Yuzhibo's water stop and allowed him to successfully launch a surprise attack. At that time, there was no intention of using the abilities of other gods or using the kaleidoscope. That's why I got hurt. But now it's different. Jishui is completely under Yi Chen's command, and he also has the experience of learning from previous experiences. In addition, there is also Uchiha Fuyue who has opened the kaleidoscope Sharingan on the side, and Yi Chen is very confident about Tuanzang. Suddenly, Jishui took a step forward, and the chakra in his body gradually began to move. Seeing that the water stop was about to take action, Tuanzang frowned. He is very clear about the strength of water stopping and dare not be careless at all. Moreover, there is also the equally powerful leader of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Fuyue. Therefore, Tuanzang suddenly said coldly, "Yuzhibo Jishui, are you really going to betray Muyi? You need to think carefully." However, this time, Jishui ignored the words of Tuanzang who stood at the highest point of the Kiba ideology. On the contrary, a momentary technique appeared behind Tuanzang to stop water, and the short knife in hand stabbed out without hesitation. Faced with the sudden attack from Jishui, Tuanzai's forehead was sweating profusely and he quickly withdrew to dodge. Unexpectedly, Yuzhibo Fuyue beside him was not idle either, and he set off to join the battle. Assist in stopping water and deal with Tuanzang together. Faced with the joint attack of Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Jishui, Tuanzang was unable to resist and soon showed signs of decline. Moreover, what makes Tuanzang feel even more tricky is that his illusion technique is also terrifying in stopping water. The mastery of water stopping illusion can be said to be renowned in the realm of endurance. At any time, it is possible to trap Tuanzang and suffer a fatal attack. Therefore, while hiding in the midst of the battle, the team must always be on guard against the illusion attacks of Uchiha's water-stopping magic. And soon, with the help of the illusion attack of stopping water and the joint efforts of Uchiha Fuyue, Tuanzang was fatally injured. However, in the next moment, Tuanzang's body gradually dissipated and appeared in a corner on the other side. This is precisely as Izanagi. In the group hiding where he was fatally injured, he directly launched the Izanagi to save himself from danger. However, as the Uchiha clan did not fall into his hands and he did not collect the Sharingan. Therefore, there were not many Sharingan on Tuanzang's body at this time, only a few. I used one for waterproofing before, but now I'm using another one. There are not many writing will eyes that can still be used. On the contrary, Yuzhibo Jishue and Fuyue have unlimited chakra and stamina. It won't be affected at all. Therefore, taking the group treasure is only a matter of time. And when Yuzhibo Fuyue saw Tuanzang unleashing his Iyanaki, one of his Sharingan eyes quietly closed. He frowned and let out a cold snort, his attack becoming even more fierce and powerful. Not long after, Tuanzang was killed again. And this time, Tuanzang has just been resurrected and instantly activated the ability of the Kaleidoscope Sharingan to stop water. Don't let the gods trigger it. However, Tuanzang seems to have been on guard and very wary of other gods. Therefore, as long as his body senses a problem with chakra, Izanagi will automatically start again. However, in this way, he lost another eye. The war continues. And soon after another round of fighting, Tuanzang was already sweating profusely, panting and staying in place. At this moment, all the writing will eyes on his body have been completely closed, and all the writing will eyes have been completely exhausted. And there was very little chakra left in his body. Tuanzai frowned tightly, his heart even more gloomy and angry, thinking, is he really going to fall here? Thinking about it, Tuanzang's eyes flashed a fierce look. Just as he had exhausted his writing wheel and pondered whether to self-destruct and use the 4 symbols sealing technique to temporarily seal and take away all the Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Jishue here. Suddenly, with a whoosh, a short blade silently appeared from behind him. Without hesitation, the short blade pierced through his chest from behind, carrying bright red blood and appearing in his field of vision. The intense pain made Tuanzang slightly lower his head, looking at the sharp blade, and then Tuanzang turned around. A figure appeared in his gaze. That person, with a faint smile, was looking at Tuanzang with a plain smile. And this person is none other than Yichen. First time meeting, say hello, Tuanzang. Chapter 10. Corpse Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sudden blade pierced through Tuanzang's body. Upon hearing this sound, Tuanzang struggled to turn his head. Soon, he saw the smiling figure of Yichen. After seeing Yichen's figure, Tuanzang instantly widened his eyes. The pupils are filled with incredible and unbelievable expressions. Looking at Yichen in shock. He never expected that someone would suddenly appear behind his back. I didn't even notice this sudden attack. Moreover, Yichen was able to quietly come to his side or even behind his back. Such a ghostly move is simply unbelievable to Tuanzang. What's even more unbelievable to Tuanzang is that Yichen in front of him looks very familiar. As if he had seen it somewhere before. Immediately, Tuanzang remembered the other person's identity. However, in Tuanzang's impression, this seems to be just an inconspicuous and mediocre Konoha ninja. Now, how could it appear here again? And how could one have such terrifying speed? How could this be possible? Suddenly, Tuanzang widened his eyes in shock and exclaimed in disbelief. You! Who are you? What kind of person? Upon hearing the incredible and terrifying voice of Tuanzang, Yichen smiled faintly. For this attack, he can be said to have been lurking around, using his abilities such as Jishue, Fuyue, and Shuluan to hide perfectly. And Tuanzang's attention has always been drawn to Jishue and Fuyue, without even noticing him. Now, he finally has the chance. It wasn't until Tuanzang was exhausted and his Sharingan was almost exhausted that he suddenly took a shot and killed himself. Let Tuanzang not even think of it. Now, with Yi Chen's successful attack, Tuanzang has completely lost his ability to fight back. The Sharingan of Tuanzang has also been depleted and cannot be used for the next Izanagi. Therefore, after taking control of the situation, Yi Chen also smiled faintly and replied. I am the one who killed you. As for the name, I will tell you when you die. As he spoke, Yi Chen's hand exerted force, and the blade advanced a little further. Tuanzang spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, and the terror in his eyes was hard to conceal. He never expected that he would be attacked by an ordinary ninja named Konoha. Moreover, he is an inconspicuous ninja that he has never noticed before. After Yi Chen succeeded, he immediately retreated to the side. At the same time, Yuzhibo Jishue and Fuyue also came to Yi Chen's side in an instant, like guards, to escort Yi Chen. Seeing the movements of Uchiha Shizuki and Fuyue, it seemed as if they were centered around Yi Chen, protecting him and guarding him by his side. And he also looked obedient to Yi Chen, completely obedient to his orders. Tuanzang suddenly froze. He instantly widened his eyes and realized that the young man in front of him was probably the real person behind the scenes. How could this be possible? Tuanzang's heart suddenly stirred up a towering wave. He never expected that the young man in front of him was the real culprit for all of this. This young man is so hidden. Even Yuzhibo Fuyue and Yuzhibo Jishue are like guards, protecting Yi Chen's side. What kind of person is this young man? You. Who the hell are you? Tuanzang looked at Yi Chen in shock and said in a startled voice. Thinking of the recent Night of Extinction, the disappearance of the Uchiha people, and the resurrection of Uchiha Fuyue and Uchiha Jishue. Now they appear here together, still guarding Yi Chen's appearance. Is it all related to the boy in front of me? Are they all planned by the young man in front of us? Thinking of this, Tuanzang once again spoke out in disbelief and shock. What does the Uchiha clan have to do with you? Did you do all of this? Upon hearing Tuanzang's incredible voice, Yi Chen smiled again and said. Do you want to know the truth? It's okay, I'll tell you soon. After you die, I'll know immediately. After speaking, Yi Chen waved his hand. Once again, control Yuzhibo Jishue and Yuzhibo Fuyue to attack. And this time, the attacks of Yuzhibo Jishue and Fuyue were even more fierce, with fatal strikes everywhere. Faced with such fierce attacks from Jishue and Fuyue, this time, Tuanzang is even more difficult to resist. Especially after Yi Chen's attack, the severely injured Tuanzang couldn't even unleash the seal of the 4 elephants in the interior, and was directly defeated by Uzhibo Jishue and Fuyue's subordinates. Quickly, he was killed by Yi Chen and the others. In the end, Tuanzang's face was still filled with feelings of disbelief and unwillingness, and his body collapsed with a loud crash. It seems that he still cannot accept the appearance of Yi Chen, Yuzhibo Jishue, and Fuyue. Watching Tuanzang's face fall to the ground with an unwilling mood, Yi Chen smiled slightly and whispered. Don't worry, Tuanzang. Soon, you will see this world again. After speaking, Yi Chen silently recited. System, bind group collection. The sound falls. In an instant. The sound of the system sounds. Ding. A suitable target character has been detected nearby. The target of the character bound by the host is suitable. Ding. Binding the group collection for the host. Ding. Successfully bound, congratulations to the host for obtaining a new Hokage character. Reward. Li Si Xiang Sealing Technique. Secret Technique. Self-owned Curse Binding Seal. Obtain Iyanaki. Obtain Ninjutsu, etc. Say it. I only saw the dumpling lying on the ground. My fingers suddenly moved. Then, he saw that Tuanzang slowly opened his eyes. Tuanzang, who opened his eyes, seemed to be scanning the surroundings in confusion, as if he wanted to see what the world after his death looked like. Here. However, Just as Tuanzang was looking around, suddenly he turned his head and suddenly saw Yi Chen beside him. At the moment he saw Yi Chen, Tuanzang suddenly widened his eyes. Eyes were filled with unbelievable expressions of shock. How could it be you again? Seeing Tuanzang's shocked expression, Yi Chen smiled faintly. Immediately, Yi Chen spoke up. Welcome back, Tuanzang.